Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Battlefield 1 podcast. My name is Tom, also known as TheLankySoldier. I'm your host as usual. Unfortunately, you're stuck with me. Deal with it as we talk about Battlefield here. New update has dropped, Cairo Bazaar is finally released, Solo's finally here, Obliteration is finally back, and leaks for the upcoming naval map have dropped, footage and gameplay, all that kind of stuff. And the future of Battlefield 6 also kind of leaked. What does that mean? Is it good news, bad news? Let's find out. What kind of lanky we're gonna get today? Is it gonna be happy, sad, angry? I know. How do you guys feel today? Let's find out.
But then when you've got Angel screaming, "Angel does it again," and
that was something, right?
That was something.
I'm sorry, you cancelled the support for the game a month ago.
Why would they even host a trade?
I don't know.
And I sit down and he picks up one donut and eats it. So you want to QA games?
When the rubber meets the road, they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, I don't like seeing Mario get his skull smashed."
Oh, I would love
it
to see
doesn't
that.
work.
I would love to
Yeah,
see
that's
that.
it.
Alright, first and foremost, as usual, guys, thank you so much for joining us for another week of Battlefield 1 podcast. It's a pleasure for me to host this show and you guys listen on a regular basis. Thank you guys so much. I am glad that I provide the entertainment you seek, even if you stay here for 5 minutes. It's fine. Thank you guys for checking out. It's fine. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you guys so much. And of course, I have to thank our Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this show would not exist, because my motivation to do a Battlefield-related podcast on a weekly basis would not exist without your monetary support. Simple as that. So thank you guys for everything. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you for joining our Patreon, patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. That's where you get extra content, early access, extra videos, extra episodes, all that kind of stuff. And my cat is meowing in the background, of course, because he wants to tell me that he's important. But yeah, thank you guys for everything, and thank you our Patreon supporters. Like I said, this show would not exist without you. So check out, if use a free trial, use a free trial if you check out, to check out if you guys would enjoy what we produce there. So live streams, all that kind of stuff. So hey, check out. It helps us out, and we put your name at the back of the supporters list at the end of the episode. So anyway, thank you guys for everything. Patreon.com/TheLankySoldier for all the support you guys give it to us. It's important. Thank you guys. So before we continue with the topics and everything, I just want to say this. So I was talking to someone in our Discord. Anyway, the Discord link is in the description. So if you listen to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever, in the show notes, in the description, there's a link to our Discord. So feel free to join. I was talking to someone, and he was talking about the feedback that he got from others about the podcast. And I'm always curious about what people think about the podcast, all that kind of stuff. And someone said that Lanky is screaming like an old man at cloud, basically. Old man screaming at the cloud. And I just want to say this. For the last 2 years, I've been hosting this show, and 3+ years of me doing YouTube videos, commentary videos, all that kind of stuff that got thousands of views and all that kind of stuff, loads of comments and loads of feedback. I'm gonna say this. I don't really care what people think about me, because let me be honest with you, because when I'm being positive about anything, let's say, because it's a Battlefield-related podcast, let's talk about Battlefield. When I'm being positive about Battlefield, I'm being called a shill, I'm being called of course, you're gonna praise Battlefield because Battlefield is not doing great. That means you're not gonna get more listeners and so on. So that's me being positive, right? So God forbid I defend, my cat is of course still meowing. God forbid I defend Battlefield Studios about something that deserves attention. As Otto, why are you meowing? Anyway, I'm sorry, he's very distracting. I know, he got treats and everything, he's still meowing. I love you, but can you please be quiet? Thank you. So, as I was saying, when I'm being positive, and God forbid I'm defending Battlefield Studios about something, like something good, something decent, right? God forbid, because, hey, he's a shill, he's defending, because God forbid he's being positive. So, I got that kind of feedback. recent feedback that we were talking about in our Discord, it was negative. Like, oh, I can't listen to Lanky because 5 minutes. I can barely last 5 minutes because old man screams at cloud. He's angry and disappointed and all that kind of stuff, and he repeats himself all the time. And I'm like, okay, I heard that feedback before. So like, I can't please everyone. At the end of the day, I host this podcast not because I want to be positive or negative. I host this show because how I feel on that particular day. Hey, I'm a really open-minded person. I'm a very honest person. If something is bad, I'll call it out. If something is good, I'll call it out. If something's neutral, I'll just say, yeah, this is fine. This is not bad, but this is not good either. Depending on the situation. I can't please everyone. I'm sorry. That's the reality. If I'm being too positive, people think I'm a shill. If I'm being too negative, people think I'm just an old man screaming at a cloud. And me, basically, I build up this, I don't know what to call it. There was a word for it, I just forgot. Anyway, not the point. Immune system, here we go. That's the word I was looking for. Immune system. I build up this immune system that I just like, if the feedback is valid, like it's really really good feedback, and I can tell that that feedback has a lot of heart, a lot of emotion, and everything is like they care to let me know how they feel about the show, all that kind of stuff. Then yes, I take it seriously, and I can see what I can do. But at the same time, when I hear people like, oh, you're being the shill, oh, you're being just angry, well, yeah, because at that particular day something happened, something happened, or and I want to say something happens, like, hey, our update got dropped and it's broken. I'm not gonna be positive about that. Duh. That's the reality. If something good happened, of course I'm gonna praise it, like, yeah, this is good shit, can we continue? Oh, also people say, I swear too much. I'm like, I don't know where they got that from. It's like, I really don't know where they got that from. Yeah, I swear sometimes, but I put, those swear words when needed, like because, like I said, there's no filter here. So it's all being honest to a T, There's no in the background planning, oh, how should I deliver this news? No, I'll just say how it is. Like, it's a good or a bad. So I just want to address that. Listen, if you're not happy with me, that's fine. I guess I'll get you back sometime in the future. Maybe you'll come back and decide, oh, you know what? Maybe Lanky is not too bad. And people that think I'm being too positive, sometimes I'm like, dude, listen to previous episodes. Like, it's the emotion is always, oh, we're so fucking back. Oh, we're so fucking done. It's like, we're cooked. It's always like it's a yo-yo type of thing. Basically, like you never know what we're gonna get with each episode because it depends what Battlefield Studios do with their game. But anyway, I just want to address that. I'm like, guys, it's fine. Like, if you want to give me some good feedback, just feel free to do so. But yeah, at the same time, I can't please everyone. I'm sorry, that's the reality. So anyway, let's talk with the most important thing about this podcast is talk about Battlefield. So let's talk about Blastpoint impressions. Okay, Blastpoint impressions. Let's give it 10 minutes, I guess, 10-15 minutes. Let's see how it goes. So Battlefield Studios dropped Season 3 Stage 2 update, which is called Blastpoint. And Blastpoint came with PP19, the small PP, came with Cairo Bazaar, came with some updates to the game, good or bad, and how we feel about it. So let's start with Cairo Bazaar. Let's just go straight to the point. How's the map? How's the map feeling? You know what? I like the map. The map is definitely bring me some memories of Battlefield 3. Like, I'm kind of glad they chose this to remake this map for Battlefield 6, because I think Battlefield 6 needed some good iconic maps. And after playing, I don't know, like maybe 10 rounds of Conquest maybe not 10. Regardless, I played quite a good number of matches on Cairo Bazaar, and yeah, I still remember majority of the routes, even though it's not the most complicated map ever, but they tried to replicate the map as much as they could regarding the routes, how the map feels and everything. This definitely feels like Grand Bazaar reincarnated. It's not the same as, like, it's definitely not the same because, listen, it's been 15 years since the original Grand Bazaar. And I think this map has the spirit of the original Grand Bazaar. And is it better than the OG map from Battlefield 3? Or even, let's say, Battlefield Hardline? Because Battlefield Hardline did had Grand Bazaar. I think it was called Chinatown, if I remember correctly. And is it better than OG? I want to say yes and no, because it's kind of hard to compare them, because the games are so different. Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 6 are such different games in terms of their gameplay mechanics and how the games feel and how they, and the aesthetic, all that kind of stuff. Like, do I prefer the OG aesthetic or do I prefer the new aesthetic? You know what? I think I prefer the new aesthetic. The new aesthetic is pretty cool. Like, it's like, I think it's dusk. Like it's I think, or I don't think it's early morning. But anyway, you have like the orange sun. The visuals are really nice. The map looks beautiful. Like the map is really, really beautiful. And the gameplay wise, I think it's the same as original Grand Bazaar. Original Grand Bazaar was also sometimes a bit. Yes, my cat is very loud for some reason, because I don't know why. Yes, Oro. Yes. Yeah, I don't know why is he meowing. I'm trying to record and I love you, but can I please record? Thank you. Jesus. Okay. Anyway, so I do like Grand Bazaar. So I do like the new Cairo Bazaar map. I really do. And I think it has the same problems as the original Grand Bazaar, because let's be honest, the original Grand Bazaar was not a perfect map. It was not. So the new map has the spirit of it, but I think it shares the same problems as the original Grand Bazaar had. So it gets, the gameplay becomes very loopy. Teams are just making circles around objectives, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's kind of nice because it makes the map flow really good. But at the same time, you kind of like, he's like, oh, can we defend the flag? Oh, what's the point of defending? Just push on the next flag, and then the other team is gonna push on on your other flag, and it's just basically people just making circles around the map. But then again, it's not a bad thing, because it kind of just like keeps the gameplay moving. You never like standing still, which is a good thing. It makes it a bit more dynamic, all that kind of stuff. So I personally enjoy Cairo Bazaar. My problem is, this is a really big negative on my end. Cairo Bazaar has really big problem with the destruction. And what I say with the destruction is that there's too much destruction. And I mean that in a bad way. Because people are like, oh yeah, we want to, Bad Company to do destruction, all that kind of stuff. Great. But problem with Bad Company 2 back in the day, that every time, the match was going, everything was destroyed, and there's no cover whatsoever anywhere, and there's no way to push, nowhere, like, there's literally nothing. It's just an open field of rubble, and somehow, you have to push towards an objective. So, yes, Oro. Oh my god. I don't know why is he like that. So, when you try to, like, after you're playing Cairo Bazaar for a while, all the objectives are just like, so when you start the game, you have buildings and cover and everything. It's very detailed, very, there's, furniture and all that kind of stuff, like small stuff, right? That just populates the map to make it more, make it feel real, I guess. That's the word I'm looking for. Like, it's like, it's a real location. It makes you feel like that. But after you're playing like for 10-15 minutes, there's no cover whatsoever on the objectives. I can't remember the flag designations, which is A and E, I think. But anyway, those main flags that are on the corner of the map, they're so destroyed. Like, there's no cover whatsoever on those maps. And if any team or someone has a LEV, the Bradley or whatever, FIV, light infantry fighting vehicle. If someone has that and you try to push the flag, yeah, good luck. That's not happening. Everything's destroyed. There's no cover whatsoever, and I did notice people start to use loads of smoke to push on the objective, because that's the only way you can do anything. That's the only way you can capture an objective, because everything's just destroyed. There's no cover, nothing. Literally just a flat surface. So I don't think that's a good thing, because even original Grand Bazaar, at least the way I remembered, had some cover, just you know, for the sake of gameplay. It was not perfect, don't get me wrong, but then again, I remember the capture areas were a bit smaller, so that was a bit different. But here in Battlefield 6, the capture areas are quite huge, especially those corner flags, the main ones. They're huge, and because they're huge, there's barely any cover whatsoever on both of them. Like the only there's some, I think it's A flag with the statue in the middle. That's the only thing you get any cover, right? And there's like some bushes on the side, but it's nothing. It's literally nothing. But the E flag, I think it's the E flag, what the market actually is. Well, it's not really the market. Anyway, the corner of the map, that is just fully destroyed. Can't do anything. You can't push. You just cannot push because it's just no cover. So it suffers a little bit from that. And there's also, like, when you go around the map, there's some new areas. I can tell this was done on purpose. It's kind of like new areas done where you can just peek through like very shady corner, and you can shoot the player without even them noticing you. Because there was like, for example, to open a route, like a shortcut to the C flag, you kind of need to destroy like one of those like pillars, those rock pillars or whatever, stone pillars. But there's like there's some corners there that you can go through, like you can aim through those pillars, and you can shoot anyone that is passing by. And that's very cheesy. Like there were some cheesy spots there, just like, oh, that's I get why they're there, that those cheesy spots are there, but I'm like, maybe we can deal without that, because it's a bit cheesy, not in a good way. So I was like, I get what they were going for. I understand, especially like the idea is to destroy that stone cover, so you can go and use the shortcut. But at the same time, if you don't destroy the cover, because let's say you're playing as a support, and you don't have any explosives with you, you can peek to those corners and just shoot anyone passing by, which is like, I don't think that's a good idea. So it has a lot of cheesy spots on this map. But overall, I like Cairo Bazaar for what it is. But I do think it suffers from too much destruction, because it kind of the structure of the map disappears as the match is going on. Especially if you want to play when you're playing one of those long matches. So the structure of the map kind of disappears. It just becomes basically like a Call of Duty map, a 3-lane nonsense in a sense. It's not that bad, but you can't really push on objectives anymore because everything's just destroyed. So you kind of need to be like a bit more creative with your pushes, especially when there's like a whole team on the flag. But that's a different story. So I like it. It just suffers a little bit with too much distraction and some cheesy spots in there. And of course, people figure out how to go on rooftops, because not like we had this problem with Cairo Bazaar before, you know. Oh, same problems we had in Cairo Bazaar happens in... Oh, sorry, not Cairo Bazaar. Siege of Cairo. Not like we had the same problem in Siege of Cairo. They had to fix it months later. So they have to fix the same problem here at Cairo Bazaar, because people figure out how to go on rooftops, which... Of course, ruins the whole flow of the map if someone's on the roof. So of course, that's not good. But yeah, I'm liking the map. It's not perfect. It's definitely the top 5 maps in Battlefield 6. Like there's no questions asked. Is it the best map? No. Do I think Siege of Cairo is better than Cairo Bazaar? I don't know. I actually don't know. It's a 50-50 on my end. I don't know. I like the aesthetic of Cairo Bazaar, but I think I like the gameplay more of Siege of Cairo. Could be that. That's my impression. But anyway, Cairo Bazaar is good. I like it. So it's just has a bit of problems, but show me a map that doesn't have any problems. Regarding everything else, the PP19, the new gun that came out, dog shit. Okay, it's not absolute dog shit, but it's not good either. It's not really good either. And I leveled up to like, I don't know, level 20 or something like that. Also, they had a problem with the, was it the mini battle pass? Like, what's it called? They have a name. I don't know what's it called. I just call it mini battle pass. So the mini battle pass came out, and you can unlock, I don't know, 12 rewards there or some shit. 11, I think. And the last reward is the PP19. I'm glad they actually added enough challenges to complete, to unlock the PP19 in the first day of the update, which is a big improvement what we had on Season 2. Back in Season 2, I can't remember what gun was it, but in Season 2, there was a gun. I can't remember which gun was it, but there was a gun that was added in the mini battle pass, and they say, hey, new update, new guns and everything, unlock this gun and so on. You could not unlock that gun by doing the challenges for 3 weeks. So the way they spaced the challenges, they were like spaced across 3 weeks. So after the update drops and they say, oh, you can use the new gun. You can if you buy the gun from the store, or you use your currency to progress through the mini battle pass. It took us 3 weeks, which was absolute. It was bad. It was really, really bad. So I'm glad that this time around, even though they had issues and they had to fix them, because for example, there was like some problems with the challenges. I'm so glad that they learned their lesson. Battlefield Studios, this is me being positive. I give props where they need to, I give props where I'm supposed to. I'm glad they learned their lesson, and we can unlock the weapon on day 1 of this update as long as you do all the challenges. Perfect. I have nothing against that. That's perfection. That's all we asked. Hey, you do all your challenges, you do your weeklies, and you do your extra challenges that came with the mini battle pass, and you can unlock the PP19. Love it. Perfect. Can we just do this now on a regular basis with new guns coming in the future? That's all we need. Perfect. I'm glad they learned the lesson. Regarding the PP19 in general, yeah, it's kind of garbage weapon. I'm not gonna use it. It's like I tried to use it. Like I said, level 20, something like that. It's not my type of gun. It doesn't have enough damage. Yeah, it's a bit accurate. Yeah, it feels okay, I guess. But I don't know. I don't like it. It's not my type of gun, honestly. It's just like I'm just gonna like, yeah. It's just like it's not good. It's like it's not good in distance, but it's not really great to up close either. So it's just a whatever okay weapon. That's all it is. Well, at least with M16, for example, when M16 came out, at least that gun felt good. It was like, oh yeah, this is a proper assault rifle for multiplayer. Like, this feels good. Like, I don't know if it was animation or the damage model or something else. I don't know. It just felt good. PP19 is just like, it feels like a small PP. Feels like a small PP. It's not like it does. We have a inside joke here in Discord when we play together. We like, oh yeah, small PP. What about the big P, which is the P90? I can't remember what it's called in the game, but of course I call it by its real name, P90. The PP19 doesn't hold a candle to the big P, which is the P90. So I still love my P90 because it's just a much better assault rifle, not assault rifle, SMG. So yeah. Staying on the Blastpoint impressions, visibility was improved. Fantastic. I do love the changes they did to the soldier visibility. Like I haven't. Okay, I heard someone's complaining that my immersion is ruined. I haven't read those comments myself. I don't know if they're true, but you know what? I believe they're true. I have not been checking the subreddit or the social media about that because I'm like, you know what? I really don't care anymore what the subreddit whoever thinks, because I just see brain dead takes there. So I'm not getting involved. Like, oh, I can't find matches. It's only bots. Yeah, because you disabled crossplay, my dude. Simple as that. Enable crossplay and you're gonna get real players. But I don't want to play against PC players. Then you have to wait for a really long time to matchmake because, hey, this is how matchmaking works. If you disable crossplay, so that means more than half of the player base is gone on your end to a possible possible player loot pool. Player pool. Yeah, half of the player base can't play with you anymore. Then they have to matchmake at the same time as you matchmaking in the same region, by the way. So of course you're removing, the possibility of getting players on your server because you're artificially removing your possible player pool that can join your game. They have to matchmake at the same time, in the same region, on the same platform. Of course you're getting bot lobbies because you'll be waiting for 15 minutes to find a match. You see what I mean? Now, of course, people say like, we do this. There must be enough players to do that, right? Sure, but you also forget that 99% of the player base doesn't remove crossplay from their sec. It's a 1% type of thing. No one goes out of the way to disable crossplay. Anyway, that was on tangent, but that's the deal. The thing that no one thinks that. That's the problem. No one thinks. Also, forget Battlefield. What about other games? Other games that let you disable crossplay. What, you think they're getting good games instantly? You think that their matches filled up? No, they have the same problem as everyone else. Not enough players, because no one disables crossplay for obvious reasons. Because like, hey, I want to play. And you get a large pool of players that will join your server. It's not rocket science. It happens in COD. I think it even happens. I don't remember if you can do that in Fortnite. But Fortnite is Fortnite, But other games, for example, Call of Duty, has the same problem. Disable crossplay? What, you think you're gonna find any games? Yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, you will. 10-15 minutes later, maybe. So, that's that. How they even came up on this? It was about the soldier visibility. So, soldier visibility. Is that a good change? Yes. I can see soldiers, I can see them, they're not blending with the background. Now, can it get better? Yes, of course. But I think that the change they did to the player right now, to the player models, because they're a little bit lighter now in certain, situations. Perfect. Perfect. Like, I played Cairo Bazaar. There was some dark corners in a certain part of the map. I can still see the soldier with no problems. And I'm like, good. Love it. That's a good change. That's perfection. Again, me being positive. For good reason. Because this was a good change. Your immersion, whatever, you know what? I don't care. I want good gameplay. Because I'm gonna get bored of, my immersion very fast if the gameplay is not there. It's fine. I think this is an acceptable change that doesn't ruin the aesthetic of the game, but it also improves the gameplay. There's a fine balance there, and I think this was a good change. Visibility, fantastic. Of course, it's not perfect. Don't get me wrong, still lots of work needs to be done, but this is a good step in the right direction, and I hope they're gonna continue improving this, because so far I enjoy the visibility changes. Even in RedSec, I was playing RedSec. Even though RedSec never really had a problem technically with visibility, other than the end games, because the fire just gets in the way. But even RedSec kind of improves on that, and I'm like, oh, this is good. I can actually see the player in in the bush or whatever the case may be, or somewhere. Like, it's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it's an improvement. So that's good. I think it's perfect. There was a drama with the tokens, which was unfortunate, really, because when the update got dropped, in the menu, your double XP tokens were not tracking in the menu. And because they were not tracking in the menu, so they were just, I don't remember how people know, I don't remember because I haven't used the token yet, because I already completed the battle pass, so I never really used it. But it was not counting down in the menu. And of course, everyone rejoiced. I was like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. Finally, you heard the feedback. Finally, you changed something today. We really need a positive change. Like, so far it was just win after win, win after win. Like, this is how the update was going. Like, we'll talk about the negative in a moment, but it was like, this is good stuff, right? There's like, yes, they finally listened to feedback. They're doing some good changes. Like, good. And no, they had to announce, sorry guys, this is a bug. The tokens still track in the menu. We'll update the text to reflect that they still track in the menu. I'm like, why? Are you fucking... I think I replied to the tweet to them like, are you for real? Now this is the negative Lanky. Are you for real? Why? Like, okay, how does that even happen? How do you go... Someone got out of the way and changed the text to like, oh yeah, there's... whatever the thing happened, right? This was done on purpose? And they say like, no, they're still checking the menu because reasons. Now, this made me... If we go like from a different perspective, like let's take a step back and see what happened. In the future update, they probably won't track in the menu. I think that's what's happening. I think this text, whatever happened in the background, or this update that the tokens will not track in the menu, but only track in the game. This was deliberate. This was not, someone fucked up. Well, they fucked up. They fucked up in a case that I think they updated this too early. Somehow this went through QA, somehow passed through it, and no one noticed, and that happened. I think what's happening is because it's they work on the feature that the tokens will not track in the background. I think we'll get that in the future update. But until then, they still track in the menu as normal as they were from launch day. So they had to apologize, like, yeah, they're still tracking the menu. I'm sorry, guys, we'll update the text. But that means that doing something in the background that it won't track in the menu in the future update. I think that's what happened. So it's unfortunate that they had to come out and say, no, they're still tracking the menu. I'm sorry, we'll update the text. But this basically tells me that they're working, making sure that that the tokens won't track in the menu in the future. So maybe season 4, or I don't think it's gonna be stage 3 of season 3. I don't think that's gonna be the case. I think it's gonna be season 4. As soon as the naval warfare maps, or at least the first map, is gonna drop, I think they're gonna not gonna be tracking in the menu. They're just working in the background, but this text somehow passed through the QA and it just happened. I think it gave us a small glimpse of what they're gonna do. It's unfortunate that they're still tracking the menu, but I think they're gonna fix that in the future. That's the impression I'm getting, because how the hell this happens and they're like, oh yeah, shit, sorry. Makes you think, right? So when I take a step back and look at what happened, just to understand what happened, I think that's what's happening. So yeah, my prediction: season 4 tokens will not track in the menu. My prediction. Will I be right? We'll see. So regarding the negative stuff, so I already mentioned about Cairo Bazaar being a bit too much with destruction. They broke the redeploy screen on the PC, only PC. So every time you go to the redeploy screen, there's like a stutter for like a second, and you can't select, and I think it's just your game just is frozen for a moment, which is annoying. It's not unplayable because it fixes itself after that 1 second, and even after that, it's still a bit broken with the mouse because it jumps around everywhere. So the redeploy screen is actually broken. You can still redeploy if you use the keys. So if you use the keys to redeploy somewhere, that will work. But when you're using the mouse, that doesn't work whatsoever. Like, it's very buggy, it's very clunky and everything. It's not supposed to be like that. It's just absolute disaster. But they mentioned they're gonna fix it. I think they did a blog post recently somewhere. Was it Game News? Yeah, okay. They did like a Blastpoint out saying like, yeah, this deployment screen jumping issue for PC. They found the root cause. They're gonna be fixed in future update. So until then, please use your keys as a workaround, which is fine. Lightning bug in RedSec is still not fixed. I figured out how to cause that bug. So it's something to do with thermal weapons and thermal scopes. Because I remember I was playing duels or something with Monkey, and I picked up someone's weapon, and it was someone's AK, and he had thermal scope on it. For the first, I never got that lightning bug. So let me tell you right now, I never got that lightning bug until I picked up that weapon with the thermal scope on it, and my game just like went full blast, like white light everywhere on every shiny surface. It was like, oh my god, that was so bad. So I never used thermal, so maybe that's why I never got the bug. But me like picking up this guy's, I killed a guy, I picked up his weapon because I need a weapon. He had this thermal scope, used it once, my whole game just went like white. I'm like, I was so, it's on Patreon live stream. So I was streaming on Patreon with everyone, and it became a 4-hour live stream because we had so much fun. It happened on that live stream. I just picked up the thermal weapon, thermal scope on that weapon. Like instantly my game went blind. I'm like, oh god. So you're not gonna see me use thermals ever, even though I never use them again. But like I never use them because I don't need them. But this just basically confirms I will never use it until they fix it. So that's that. But there's some black screen game hanging at Battlefield 6 logo. Never got that bug, but hey. And there's some people still missing some points for the last challenges for the completing the mini battle pass. So yeah, I think. Obliteration. So a quick review on the Obliteration. Obliteration is fine. Like it's still the same Obliteration as it was back in, Battlefield 4. I'm happy with Obliteration, and apparently Obliteration is going to be added to the All-Out Warfare. So it's going to be a permanent. Obliteration is a permanent mode forever now. It's going to be added to the All-Out Warfare playlist. Perfect. Love it. Like would I rather play Breakthrough or Obliteration all the fucking time, because Obliteration is just a fantastic mode. Now they did some changes to the mode. So back in the day in Battlefield 4, Obliteration was one bomb and each team had 3 sites, like 3 MCOMs. But now at the end, like when there's like the game was going for a while, they spawned 2 bombs. I don't like that. I don't like that. I really don't like it, because I'm a huge fan of Obliteration. And the idea was that just to drag that bomb to the site through all the means necessary, right? The point is to go through the fucking... Sorry for swearing again, someone can complain about that. But it's just to go through all that shit of enemy players, tanks and helicopters and everything, is to go through all that mess and finally plant the MCOM. And when you plant that MCOM and it explodes, it feels really good because you worked your ass off to get that MCOM. And when you have 2 bombs now it kind of creates like 2 front lines in a sense, because like, oh yeah, so enemy team can grab 1 bomb and we can grab 1 bomb. So let's see who's faster, right? I don't like that. I really don't like it. So I don't know if it was a bug or was a deliberate change, but I think it was a deliberate change because it happened on Golmud. I don't think it happened on Eastwood. So there's like 4 maps you can play Obliteration on. I played Golmud and Eastwood. It happened on Golmud. I don't remember if it happened in Eastwood. So maybe it's map specific, maybe, or I've only played like 2 rounds of Obliteration because I was doing like other stuff. So I don't know, like I saw 2 bombs, so I wasn't sure that's a bug or that's deliberate. Regardless, if it's deliberate, I don't like this change because it kind of just makes it like it's like kind of defeats the purpose, if you know what I mean. So I don't know if they're ever gonna change that if it's deliberate, but you know what, it's fine. At its core, Obliteration is still a really good mode, and I'm glad it got added to Battlefield 6. And I hope you can add this mode to other maps, please, because it will be great. So that's Blastpoint Impressions. As I'm going through my notes, is there anything that happened? Yeah, that's kind of it. So the Blastpoint update, it's good. I have no problems whatsoever. It's fine. There's no issues. No issues. It's a stretch, but overall, it's a good update. It's just like they have some really nasty bugs that they had to fix. But overall, as a stage 2 of a 2-month, 2.5 month season, I think it's fine. Like it's nothing amazing. Something like oh my god, yes, it's a must. But I think it's good. I think it's good. It gets a nice 7.5 from 10, stars for me. It's a good update. It's just like the way, but the only reason it drags it down from like 8 or 9 is because, hey, the bugs are just really nasty, right? And the weapon is like a bit Of course, not every new weapon is supposed to be a meta, and I get that, but it's just like, like that's why I'm really worried what kind of weapons they're gonna add in the future. Like, because what can you add? Because we kind of have enough unique weapons in the game. And I really don't need more weapons, honestly. I just need more maps. Always been all maps or more maps and modes. That's mostly what I need. And quality life updates. That's all I need. I rather focus on gameplay now than weapons. Like give me more content in terms of that, in terms of weapons. Anyway, so good update, just with some serious issues that are just very bad issues. But you know what? We've seen worse. When it comes to Battlefield 6, I think we've seen worse. Like, for example, this December update that happened to mid-season update for Season 1. Boy, that was bad. Boy, that was so fucking bad. That was really, really bad, and I think it was the worst update we ever got. So, comparing this update to that, this update is very good. So that's that. And Cairo Bazaar is a good addition. That's all I'm gonna say. So yeah, that's my impressions of Blastpoint. Let's go to the next topic. Okay, it was not in my plans to talk about Blastpoint for 40 minutes, but hey, anyway, let's just go through some stuff quickly. So they added finally solos. So solos, RedSec. I know all of you are like, oh no, RedSec, he's gonna talk about RedSec again. Oh no, how dare you? I'm so bored of RedSec. Or I don't care about RedSec. It's fine, my podcast. I care. I care. I'm sorry. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. I love RedSec. Okay. So, they added solos, finally, on the expense of duos, which is not good. But duos is coming back on Tuesday. And we're gonna lose solos again. Annoying, but again, listen to the old episodes where I talk about that, like last 2 episodes. Stupid change. But my first impressions of solos. Not much changed from the initial update from March. Not much change. Okay, there's tiny bit change because they reduced the player numbers from 100 to 80. So it's a bit less chaotic, which I think it was a good change. So I wasn't sure how I'm gonna feel about the reducing the player numbers for solos from 100 to 80. And after playing it for a little bit, and they increased the speed of the circle to go faster because there's less players. I haven't noticed any difference regarding the circle speed. It felt kind of the same to me. I don't know what's the difference, like a minute or 2 maybe? Is that what it is? I don't know. To me, the way I play the game, I play RedSec, I haven't noticed any difference. It did not feel longer whatsoever because I'm always on the move. I'm always doing something. Always like fighting or whatever. So for me, it was not that different. Maybe because of my gameplay style. I don't know. Maybe that's why. But I'm glad we have solos. And let me tell you, like, back in March when they were doing the solos playtest or testing, whatever. So the only thing that changed is basically less bugs now. Okay, cool. They're like great. There were some really bad bugs in solos back in March. In the playtest, whatever they had. That was not good. It was really buggy. This time around, it's not buggy. It actually works, or at least less bugs. So that's great. Less chaotic, which is good. But when the match like settles in, like when you actually land and settle in somewhere, like you have your weapon and everything, and you finally go fight. Just like back in March, it's solos is not for the weak. Solos is not for the weak. Solos takes a lot of effort, a lot of mental strain, and it's not easy mode to win a game because everyone are very campy, everyone are very passive, everyone are very slow, and like I discovered people camping in sports. I never imagined seeing anyone camp there. Like it's so, people are very passive and very campy in solos. It's like, it's insane. Like, and the people that camp in these, in this mode, they're not very good. I know, like, when I figured where they're camping and spot, like, I'm like, why are you camping there? Because they use the drone or something like that, or they appear on the UAV, something, right? Or maybe I heard them, whatever the case may be. When I figure out where they're camping on a particular site, somewhere on the map, I'm like, okay, one, why are you there? And two, when I actually push on them, they're just flabbergasted. Like, oh my god, how the hell he knew that I was there? Oh my god, how he killed me? Like, that's the only way these players can get the kills, is they somehow hoping that if they can, like, shoot me in the back, because that's the only way they can get a kill, wherever, because they're too afraid to fight, which is quite unfortunate. But I kind of understand because the general RedSec player base, a whole Battlefield player base, on average are not good. So that's don't, like, listen, I'm not gonna judge anyone for doing that. Like, hey, because I remember when the first time I played BRs, yeah, I was not that good. I was like a little bit scared, how to approach this and everything. And of course, after playing for a little bit, I get more confident. Now I do the pushes. Now I do the the killing and everything. I try to push as much as I can. Of course, smartly. I'm not gonna push just like an idiot. But I get that. But it's just like, it surprises me that majority of the players are like that. So like, it's very campy and passive and everything. I mean, it was campy and passive back then, but here it's really like extra campy. And also, when you actually fight someone and you don't have your weapons, and when I mean that you don't have your weapons, you don't have suppressors. When you don't have suppressors on your weapons, my god, you're gonna get third-partied, fourth-partied, fifth-partied, and all the good parties you can think of, because as soon as you fight one guy, someone's gonna look at the minimap or in the distance or hear the gunshots. You're gonna get third-partied almost immediately after the fight. Almost immediately, because I was like, oh my god, there's a fight. Okay, let's push. The other solo players are pushing because they also want to be part of the fight. There was so many times, wasn't even a fight, killed the player, and I got shot in the back from the right or left or whatever the case may be, right? I got sniped. I got third-partied from 150 meters from a sniper. So I killed the dude. I'm low health. Like, let me go around the corner here and replay it. I can't, because I got shot in the back by a sniper for 150 meters the next freaking second. The next second. And I won. I managed to win one game. Well, I managed to win 3 games so far by playing, 10 matches or something like that. I managed to win one game, and one of them was me third-partying someone. So, my dude was running away, replating, killed someone. The other dude, there's another dude, shooting him as he's about to replate. I got assist on the guy because I started shooting the guy that was replating because he's running away while the third guy was shooting him. So that guy died, I got the assist, and I started instantly shooting the guy that's shooting the other guy. So and that's how I won the game, because I'm like, oh, I sniped this guy, okay, he's dead, I'll snipe this guy. And I won the game because it was just a third-party, fourth-party galore. And that's solos in a nutshell. It's just like, if you don't have a suppressor, do not fight in solos without a suppressor. Do not do that. It gives you, like, the suppressor in solos is such a must. Such a must. It's important to have. It's important. If you don't have a suppressor, good luck, because you're gonna get third party, fourth party, you're gonna get ganked by so many players. It's insane. If you can do it yourself, you can hold your own, great. I'm just warning you what's gonna happen. If you're good enough, good for you. But no matter how good you are, you can't handle everyone, and that's the problem. Typical RedSec problems, of course. I remember there was a blog post that was saying about like, oh yeah, we reduced certain stuff on the contracts and everything. Like, oh yeah, you can. There was one spot in the blog post or something said, oh yeah, instead of doing 2 data transfers, you have to do only 1. Because it's only solo players. And I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know who wrote this blog post, but I'm just saying that you can, in duos, you can only do one data transfer. The problem is not the number of the data transfers, it's the fucking drone for the mission that takes half a century for it to land and finish the contract. So I'm artificially handicapped to do this mission because the drone takes ages to land. So that blog post kind of annoying me, but I'm talking this off tangent. When it comes to like missions, missions are not different from duos. They're the same missions so there were no changes done to the missions. They can say anything they want, but there was no changes to the missions from solos to duos. Same number of antennas to do, like, which kind of surprised me. You would imagine if you do an antenna mission, you have to point an antenna at the box and capture the box. You would imagine in solos there would be like one antenna. Now it's still the same as duos. You have to do two. So they did no changes to solos when it comes to that. The only changes they did to solos, fix the bugs, great. And they reduced the player numbers from 100 to 80. And they increased the speed of the fire. That's it. That's the only changes they did to solos. So all this testing, all this like data gathering, all that kind of stuff, I start to believe that that RedSec, the team that is working on RedSec, or it's not even a team, it's probably just one person. That's the impression I'm getting. There's just like 2-3 dudes working on RedSec, and that's why the RedSec feels so underwhelming sometimes. Like there's no changes, whatever, because it's just three engineers, 3 developers working on this. That's the only explanation I can think of right now why RedSec is not getting any updates and not getting any meaningful stuff. Like when I'm saying like quality of life stuff, it's just because it's just 3 dudes working on it. There's no 3 dudes, one girl, whatever. I don't know. Like I'm getting that impression that there's like 5 people working on RedSec. Like maybe one artist. No, it's not. You don't even need an artist. It's just 5 engineers, literally just 5 developers, like multi-skilled and developers that just work on this mode. That's the only explanation I can think of. That's why there was no changes, small stuff. Like nothing was changed. Just simple stuff got changed. Like I'll play on number and increase the speed, like of the circle. Wow. I'm pretty sure any average developer can do that in a day. Honestly, in a day. So I don't know. Like that's the impression. Hey, if any developers working and listening to this podcast, please prove me wrong. But at the same time, that's the impression I'm getting. It's just like 5 people working on this. Just like there's no way there's a big team working. It's like unless the majority of the team are working on something really, really big for the first anniversary of RedSec. Unless that's what's happening. The majority of the team of RedSec is working on one big update for RedSec when Modern Warfare 4 is gonna drop. That's the only thing I can think of where all the team is and working on something. That's the only thing I can think of. Because it feels like there's only 5 people working on RedSec right now. That's the impression I'm getting. There's just okay. Like it takes us ages to get small updates that I'm pretty sure can be done in just a couple of days. Call of Duty does it. Grand Call of Duty has a bigger team and like thousands of people working on and multiple studios working on Warzone. Sure, it's a bit different, but I'm pretty sure you have the tools to make all these changes and be fast and efficient and everything. But it's just like, again, it just feels like no one's working on RedSec. It's like 5 people and that's it. Again, prove me wrong, I guess, but that's the impression I'm getting. So yeah, solos, very campy, very passive, but I'm glad they have finally added it. We're not gonna have it again for a week, so fuck you. Stupid change, really stupid. Just add it to fucking the rotation, please, with duos. So that's stupid. But yeah, it's just. Yeah. Oh, also, speaking of, so they removed the tanks. I forgot to mention, they removed the tanks from solos. I'm like, sure, whatever. The tanks were never the problem. It's just the player base was the problem because they don't know how to get AT. They don't do missions, whatever. But yet they left the fucking transport chopper in solos. So that's like, yeah. Do you even play your own game, guys? Guys, do you even play your own game? That's like, listen, guys. Do you even play your own game? You remove the vehicles. Hey, but let's leave the transport chopper in solos. Really? Really? So you want to tell me a slow-moving vehicle, like a tank, with limited ammo and very, very like limited health. One shot from engineer, that tank is disabled. You want to tell me tanks are the problem? But the transport chopper in solos, when you can change seats, has a minigun and flies fast, and also tanky, is not a problem? Really? Really? You really don't play your own game. I'm sorry for being mean. This is the mean Lanky right now. I'm like, you don't play your own game, because what the fuck is this? How can you leave the transport chopper in the fucking game in solos? Really? Little Bird's fine. Little Bird is fine. And there was like this stupid truck. I forgot the name of it, but the truck was just basically the most tankiest thing in the game. They removed that. Great. Good change. Okay. Good change. Yeah. After good change, and they finally yesterday, I think they mentioned that they removed the Headhunter mission because it just tracks you non-stop. It's all great. Good stuff. But you leave the fucking transport chopper in solos. Really? Tanks are the problem, but the transport chopper is not? Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. Anyway, that's my impression of solos. To win the game in solos, you need to be campy. Yes, you need to be campy. You need to be a little bit slower and more passive. Well, not passive, but you can't really push all the time because every angle is a danger. You know, you can't be really too confident on pushing because people are just very slow, very passive. And every corner is being looked at by players. So that's why positioning, which is great, positioning matters. Positioning really is important. But I'm like, boy, this is campy. Holy shit. Golly, this is campy. Anyway, so keep your solos in fucking normal rotation with duos, please. Don't. I know they're gonna say they're gonna do this experiment, but I'm like, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's my impression of solos. Good stuff. Just the way the player base is playing, that's the problem. So okay, I've been talking for an hour. Jesus Christ. Okay, so let me cover just two quick stuff, and we end this podcast. Okay, so last two topics. Quick one. So Battlefield Labs playtest happened recently, and they played the new naval map, Tsuru Reef. And it's coming in Season 4, and we have loads of leaks and gameplay about the map. So, because I'm not gonna do it for some pressure because I never played the game, but from what I'm gonna mention from the screenshots and everything, so, you know, from the gameplay footage and everything, the map is beautiful. It's unfinished in certain parts, but the map is very beautiful. It reminds me of, listen, no matter what you think about Battlefield 6, I think they did a good, the level designers and the artists working on these maps, I think they did a really good job on making these maps look believable and real to the real locations. Now, it's not a real location. Tsuru Reef is not a real location. But when I look at, you know, I looked at screenshots and the gameplay and everything, you can tell this map is just like beautiful. It's a very realistic looking location, and I really enjoy how it looks. It gives that summer-like resort type of location. It actually gives me vibes of Croatia, but it just happens to be Japan. It gives me loads of vibes of Croatia. I'm like, oh yeah, it's like the buildings and how the sky looks, the trees, the streets and everything. You know, looks like a real life location, and that's beautiful. Like the map, the Tsuru Reef is a beautiful map. From what they unfinished map, looks very realistic, very beautiful, and I love it. That's good. And of course, gameplay first, all that kind of stuff. So when it comes to gameplay first, from what I've seen, it's a big map. It's a big map, yeah. Listen, people are very excited for this. I'm telling you right now, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna like this map. I don't think I'm gonna like this map. Also, this map has 9 flags. 9 flags for 64 players. With jets, with boats, all that kind of stuff. Now, we'll see when when season 4 happens and we play in this map. I'm gonna give you my proper impressions, as I always do. But so far, from what I've seen, smaller modes, or maybe like Obliteration or Domination, or whatever the case may be, right? Smaller modes. Well, even Obliteration is not a smaller mode, but it has more. I don't think this map is gonna be fun on Conquest. Maybe it's gonna be good on Breakthrough, but maybe it will be good on Rush. Maybe. But from what I've seen from the gameplay so far about this map, I am low-key worried this map is gonna be too big, not that fun, and you'll have to be in a vehicle or in a boat to have some sort of fun. And people from the cover screenshot, not screenshot, like was it cover? Not cover. What's it called? Concept art or whatever that was shared by Battlefield Studios of the map. And there was the building, the hotel building, that looked high-end resort building type of stuff. And people were like, oh yeah, that looks high-end resort. And I'm like anyone with a brain, like, well, it looks like a typical resort type of hotel, like nothing special, right? And when I looked at the gameplay, someone was going through it. Funny enough, believe it or not, it's not the same building from high-end resort from Battlefield 4. It's not the same building. But it's a very, very inspired. It has the same layout. It has the same layout as Hainan Resort Hotel from Battlefield 4. It's not the same building, but it's the same layout. Like the same way it looks. The vehicles behind the building, the main entrance. It's basically Hainan Resort building put on this map and reimagined for Battlefield 6. Again, it's not the same asset, it's not the same building, but it's heavily, heavily inspired by Hainan Resort from Battlefield 4. And this building is on Tsuru Reef. Now, it doesn't have elevators, it has zip lines. And I saw people saying like, oh, bring back elevators because, hey, we need elevators on this building. You know what, I don't really care. Elevators are fun, but you can clearly tell they haven't done elevators on this game yet. It's not a feature yet, so we're gonna stick with ziplines. You know what? I'm fine with ziplines. Ziplines are fine. I have no problem with that because it serves the same purpose. Either go down and up, and it's gonna be easier to push on campus with a zipline than an elevator. Elevator is just gonna be people camping with C4s and just like having bubbles coming out of their mouth and waiting just like anyone to be on that elevator so they can see for you as you're on top of the building, right? So that's why people want elevators, because like memes, you know. For me, it doesn't matter. For me, it doesn't. Whatever. But map looks beautiful, but I think it's just so fucking big. For Battlefield moments, right? You know, the cinematic Battlefield-like moments. This map is gonna be cinema. It's just gonna be cinema because I think this map will have a particular niche. It will have a particular fan base that will enjoy this map so much because he offers something specific that no video game offers. Like that Battlefield experience, right? All-out warfare with jets and boats and tanks and everything. It's a huge map with 9 flags. They tested this on Portal, on Battlefield Labs playtest. They tested this on Portal, so they had 100 players, so 50 players on each team. And I heard comments that people that played this map with 100 players, even they said like the map is huge even for 100 players. So like, I mean, granted, it's a playtest. They're just testing how the map feels with 100 player tests. Maybe we can increase the player numbers to 100 because it's so huge. Hey, let's add 9 flags. So I have a feeling, my prediction, because Battlefield Studios, they want to get as many wins as possible, put as many good updates as possible. I have a feeling this map is not gonna have 9 flags when it's gonna be released. I think it's gonna have 7 or 8, and they're gonna because I don't think they're gonna push 200 players because, I mean, they have the technology, but I don't think they will. I don't think they will because I think they want to have, keep consistency, between all the modes, all the maps and everything. They're gonna keep it at 64 players. They're not gonna increase it to 100 players because you can in Portal. I think they're gonna keep it 64, and I think they're gonna reduce the number of flags to 7 or 8, maybe even 6, maybe. Because I think because when a map is this huge, this freaking huge, I don't think 64 players is a good way to go. But if you want to keep the 64 players and don't increase the player numbers, reduce the flag, numbers and everything. Also, the way the map is unfinished in certain areas, of course, they played this all the build. So there was like, so people were comparing the playtest footage with the footage they showed in the roadmap video, was like 2 months ago. The roadmap video gameplay looked more finished, so obviously they playing all the build of the game here, that's fine. But my prediction is that they're gonna reduce the flags because it just makes sense in my opinion. But the map is huge. It's not gonna be my favorite map. I'm telling right now, I'm not gonna play this map like let's say Cairo Bazaar. I like Cairo Bazaar. I was debating, do I want to play Operation or Cairo Bazaar? Because hey, Cairo Bazaar is good, but Operation is also really good. So that will I have the same questions? Hey, do you want to play something else that is really good, or do I want to play Tsuru Reef Conquest? I'll play something that is good, and Tsuru Reef is not gonna. Yeah, of course I'm gonna play in Tsuru Reef and gonna have fun for like half an hour. After that, like, yeah, I had my fix. Let's go back to RedSec or play some other modes that I want that are really good, right? Like Obliteration. So I don't know. It's just Tsuru Reef just looks very old Battlefield-like map that is just like big for no reason, big for the sake of being big, and I don't like that. It's nice. It's nice to have some callbacks to Hainan Resort, for example, the hotel. It's not the same hotel, like I said, but it's inspired by that, same layout and everything. Cool. Oh, the way the waves work in the game, like your ball just jumps up and down according to the how big is the wave and everything, and just like cool. Oh, there was a new diving mechanic you can actually like dive really deep, which is great. I love it. There's more freedom how deep you can dive in the water. That's great. That's a good change. I know some people like hate water in general because for gameplay reasons. Like, you're trying to shoot this guy, but he just goes underwater so deep. So, but it's a good change. It gives you more freedom, all that kind of stuff. You just have to like deal with that, I guess. Also, it depends how clear the water will be. So, like, can you see them? How deep can you see them underwater? Like, if you're on the surface and you see, a place underwater, how deep you can see them? Like, how deep they can go? So I'm glad they're improving the swimming mechanics, but we'll see how visibility and all that kind of stuff is gonna work. Of course, the skins got leaked. What kind of skins are coming with Tsuru Reef with Season 4? Of course, loads of snorkel equipment, diving equipment, like soldiers just like clearly prepare for some water warfare, and of course people are thinking, okay, this is not real. Okay, this is clearly goofy, but it's realistic, and people are like, it's gonna be funny seeing like people with snorkeling equipment or diving equipment running around like Cairo Bazaar or something like that, or Siege of Cairo, like in the middle of desert, or Golmud, right? People with diving equipment just running around in Golmud, like it's gonna look ridiculous. But you know what? I'm all for it. This is so fun and hilarious. Listen, this is why I think the skins, like, they should take liberties. Like just add that shit to the game. It's so funny. Just why not? I don't care. Let me have my snorkeling equipment, diving equipment, and let me play on goal mode. Like, who gives a fuck? It's funny. It's just hilarious. I love that. And it would be funny if they had like the flip-flops and someone said like, oh, give them flip-flops, let them run around Cairo Bazaar as you can hear the SpongeBob walking sound effect. Tuk, 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 tuk. Like, yes, please. 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 I would enjoy that. But yeah, Tsuru Reef looks classic Battlefield map. Big, huge, but I think it's gonna be too huge. But then again, I think they're gonna reduce the flags and everything, so that's that. Right, so nothing else to say. Let's wait for the full release of Season 4. We'll talk about that when it's out. Alright, last topic, so just to end the podcast. Alright, so last topic for today, and you can guys go. It's fine. So people going through the files, they've been leaking stuff, and apparently Battlefield 6 from this point of this recording will get minimum 16 maps in the future. So we're getting, the Season 4 maps, Season 5 maps, so that's 3 maps, 5 maps, so we have 11 maps. So minimum 11 maps coming in Battlefield 6, which basically confirms that we're gonna get year 2 of Battlefield 6. We're not getting a new game next year, which I'm glad. And that's the impression I was getting, because I did say, was it last episode or maybe 2 episodes ago? I said, hey, I don't think we're getting a new game next year, because the way they did the HUD, the UI and everything, when you go check your stats, you can see it says like, oh, year 1, season 3 or something like that, right? That's because they added the word year there. That means we're getting year 2 and maybe even year 3. So I'm glad that this basically, not official confirmation, because leaks don't mean anything. Take it with a grain of salt. Leaks can mean anything. They can show support anytime. Like, oh yeah, well, sorry guys, we're making a new game next year. Happens. But as bare minimum, at least what they're working on in the background. Again, leaks, not confirmed. It's not official. This is just leaks from the game files. We're getting 16 maps from the day of this recording. And those maps basically have their code names. Now, code names can be, they're just based on something. They don't really have a big meaning behind them. This is just code names for internally in the game file, in the game engine, whatever. Like, for example, MP Angel, MP Atel, MP Diablo, MP Paradise, MP Albion, all the kind of stuff, right? MP Crossing, so people's like, oh, Crossing, is that Sign Crossing coming back to Battlefield 6? Could be anything. It doesn't mean that. Would be kind of cool. For example, someone suggested the idea, hey, MP Albion and MP Crossing. What about MP Albion is like, MP Albion is some sort of like London-based Operation Metro type of thing. The tube, the underground of London, and it's like redesigned Metro. I'm like, oh, you got my attention now. London-based Metro map? Yes, please. And then you have MP Crossing, so Cyanide Crossing. So imagine like, maybe it's like London-based River Thames type of thing, map inspired, all that kind of stuff. Would be kind of cool, And then you have operations map, basically Metro map, and Sign Crossing from Battlefield 3, but they redesigned it into London map. I'm like, oh yes, please, let's fucking go, man. So that, because I will love that. So anyway, that was just a speculation, theory, whatever, just like ideas, I will love that. So yeah, these maps, code names for the maps mean nothing to us, because it's just code names. We don't know what kind of maps those are. Well, for example, MP Whitecliff or MP Tube, right? Well, Tube, is that the Metro map? Or it's not like I need the Metro map. I'm just like, code names can mean anything. They're just named after something particular that just describes the map somehow, or maybe somehow developer felt like it, calling it like that. Whatever the reason is, these are just map code names internally for the game to filter, because that's how coding works. But it just basically low-key confirms that we're getting year 2 for Battlefield 6. Perfect. That's what I've been saying for the last year. Battlefield 6 should be a multi-year game with multi-year updates and with RedSec on the side. Perfect. I have no problems with that. Like, we're getting loads of maps, and Battlefield 6 is gonna be, as long as they keep cooking, don't break anything, they're doing good updates and so on. Like, listen, no matter how much I bitch about Battlefield 6, about certain features, about certain stuff in the game, overall, when I have to, weight the negatives and the positives, there's more positives than negatives. Is Battlefield 6 the perfect Battlefield game? No, not even close. But it's a good Battlefield game. We're in so much better situation than we were in Battlefield 5. Like, is Battlefield 6 better than Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 2042? Miles better. Hell yeah. Just because we're in this position where still getting millions of players, I don't care if people talk about Steam charts. Fuck the Steam charts. We're still getting millions of players playing Battlefield 6. We have RedSec as a free-to-play element, which is a good battle royale. Granted, like 5 people may be working on it, but that's the point. We're getting good updates. We're getting content. We loads of stuff happening in the background. I think the next year is gonna be a really good year for Battlefield 6. And with the maps are coming and the updates are coming and everything, I think Battlefield 6 has the potential to be the best Battlefield game to this day. But it's not the best yet. I don't know. I still don't think we're there yet. But hey, this gives me positive outlook for the future. Hey, the podcast will thrive, We're still going to get more listens because people are going to be enjoying Battlefield 6 because we're still getting more stuff for the future. Perfect. Listen, for me it's good. For me as a gamer it's good. As a Battlefield fan, fantastic. I think Battlefield 6 should be, like I said, multi-year game. Perfect. I have nothing else to say. And that's kind of it. There's like some other stuff to go leak, but that's not important. The point is just the main news bit is that we're getting more maps. We're getting year 2 for Battlefield 6. Which means more updates, more stuff, more content. That's it. That's kind of it. What we're getting, at this point, it doesn't matter. Let's focus for this year first. Let's get the important stuff out. Let's get the proximity chat. Let's get the platoons. Let's get solos and duos, trios, let's get solos or duos in RedSec. Change ranked to trios. Squads as a pub mode. Ranked multiplayer is coming sooner or later. Let's focus on this year first, and after that we can focus, put our attention to year 2. But at the moment, there's still lots of stuff that needs to come into Battlefield 6 that is important. So let's focus on that first. But it's just a small confirmation here. Year 2 is happening. There's something to look forward to the future. Great. That's it. That's kind of the news. That's the more important thing. That's it. Okay, I've been talking for a while, so I'm gonna end the show here. And so, thank you guys for listening. If you're still listening an hour and 20 minutes in, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for all the support. Subscribe to Patreon, patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. We need your support. Your support is really important because lots of stuff been happening in the background. Lots of stuff your monetary support helps us. Hey, if Patreon helps me to skip a work day to focus on Patreon or focus on the show, great. Because I don't think I'm still a full-time adult. I have a family and everything. If you want to support, help us out. $2 or $5, get extra content, get your extra episodes, early access, whatever the case may be, whatever fancy, what's the word I'm trying to find, whatever makes you happy. Use the free trial or just join as a free member. Joining as a free member also helps, because I'm just like, hey, you get content. You can listen to Patreon and everything. Join as a free member. You still get the live streams for free. Sure, 7 days later because the subscribers get them early because for a reason. But yeah, even free users get content on Patreon. Check it out, patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. That's patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. Get all the stuff. Support us. If you enjoy the show, your support means everything to us. Like I said, this show would not exist without your support. Simple as that. Because, hey, I have motivation because I need to give a shit. You know, people pay, so I need to give a shit. Other than that, thank you guys for listening. Let me know. Oh, of course, the regular stuff. Hey, if you've been listening to this for a while, whatever platform you are, Apple Podcast or Spotify or some other platform, leave a rating. Leave a 5-star rating. It helps us out. It helps other people discover the podcast. It helps us, you know, to grow and all that kind of stuff, right? So, just help us out. Leave a comment. Engage with us. Join our Discord. Whatever the case may be. Leave comments. Good comments, bad comments. It's fine. I don't care. Let me know. I'm really curious what you guys think. So, all that kind of stuff. So, thank you guys for everything. Thank you guys for the support. Engage. You know, 5-star rating. All that kind of stuff. Leave it be. You know, help us out. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. So, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for everything. Don't be a douchebag. Have a good day. And I'll see you guys on the battlefield. See ya.